forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
All right, tonight we have a lot of cloud cover around. A couple of sprinkles have been showing up, but for the most part, everything is dry. We've got a little bit of moisture. It's going to start streaming in here from the north, and we won't be surprised if by morning you find a couple of sprinkles out there. We are also going to see a big increase in the winds. Not much here from about I-74, I-72 south, but to the north, the winds have begun to pick back up as a cold front moves in. Look how the winds change direction here. You can see due north from Bloomington, kind of out of the west Champaign, but still almost out of the south. You get just south of I-70. The colder air is moving in. 45 in Champaign, holding on strong. And that colder air will be here by tomorrow morning. Near freezing temperatures to start the day out the door. We'll talk about even colder air that is on the way and when a better chance of snow arrives coming up. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
A former Boy Scout leader is charged with child pornography. What police say he told them when asked about the photos they found.
Plus, there's less than a month before a county jail is forced to close, and one question remains. Where will the inmates go?
Champaign's Art Theater is officially closed, but the fight behind it is far from over. And now there's a legal battle that could be looming ahead.
In your local news leader, this is WCIA 3 News at 10.
We have new details tonight about a former Boy Scout troop leader arrested for trafficking child porn. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jessica Coons. A grand jury found enough evidence to formally charge Milton Forsberg of Champaign. A federal indictment was returned today for the 79-year-old. He was involved with the Boy Scouts for more than 40 years. WCIA 3's Jennifer Jensen is in our newsroom. So Jennifer, how did this investigation originally start?
Jessica, Champaign police began investigating in February when a cyber tip was reported that suspected child pornography was found through an online account. Several images of teenagers were uploaded from a user account that was traced back to Forsberg. That's just the start of the disturbing accusations against him. On September 26th, police received a formal letter from the Boy Scouts of America National Council with a mandated notification of abuse. It stated someone claimed Milton Forsberg had abused them in Champaign in 1965, during the time when he would have been a troop leader. The next day, police got a warrant to search his house. At the foot of his bed, they found sexually explicit pictures of young boys. They say Forsberg tried to hide the photos with his cane while officers continued their search. Police say Forsberg denied any sexual attraction to minors or any inappropriate contact with them. When officials asked him about the photos they found in his house, he told them he printed one of them because he thought it was funny. Police also say he told them he did not intentionally look at the images of underage boys. During the investigation, police discovered search history of websites linked to child porn and more than 100 images that had been downloaded. Police also found a photography darkroom in Forsberg's basement with boxes of photos that he admitted he took at a nudist colony. He told officials he took the pictures under a press pass from the Champaign News-Gazette. The images included adults and children. I contacted the CEO of the Boy Scouts Prairie Lands Council to talk about the new details released in the charges against Forsberg, but did not receive a response. In the newsroom, I'm Jennifer Jensen, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All right, Jennifer, thank you. If Forsberg is found guilty, the maximum penalty for receiving child pornography is 20 years in prison. Possession of child porn is a maximum of 10 years. Each count also has a fine of up to $250,000. New
at 10, police are investigating after a house was damaged by gunfire tonight. It happened on Tremont near Goodwin in Urbana. Police were called shortly after 8:30. One person was inside the home when it happened. No one was hurt. We have new details about the closure of the Edgar County Jail. We told you it'll be shut down November 30th because it lost its insurance 2 months ago. Agreements to transfer inmates to other jails have not been finalized, meaning it's unclear where inmates will land. The county's in the process of formalizing deals with 4 Douglas and other possible county jails. The insurance company says it couldn't cover the jail because it has too many problems, including structural insecurity and excessive filth. It would cost the county millions to fix. County Board President says the jail houses an average of 30 inmates a day. It'll cost almost $400,000 to transfer and house them elsewhere. That will come out of the general fund. The county says it will not take away money from other departments to do this. Women and long-term sentence inmates have already been taken to other locations, but the rest are still waiting to be transferred. 2 counties have seen an increase in break-ins over the past few days. Now they're reminding people to lock their doors. A lieutenant at the Piatt County Sheriff's Office says they've had reports of burglaries to homes, businesses, and cars. A few $1,000s worth of items were stolen. The Macon County Sheriff's Office says it's seen an increase in car break-ins over the past few days in Argenta. Nothing too valuable has been taken there, but it's reminding people to put safety first.
First and foremost, lock your cars. Make sure you're not leaving the valuables in there. Don't leave stuff in the car that can be visibly seen by somebody.
A lieutenant in Piatt County says they've identified one person as a suspect for the break-ins there, but he's not ruling out others. Anyone with surveillance video or information about the break-ins should contact police.
We have an update from last night. We told you a dog was found starving in a ditch in Douglas County. Today we saw him and learned more about his future. We also introduced you to the Gensler family last night. Brianna Gensler took this dog to the vet. The dog was in bad shape, but vets say he's now doing better. If the dog pulls through, they told us he will almost certainly be going home with the Genslers. For now, the vets are staying hopeful.
Through the last 2 days, I didn't think he'd make it through the first night. So I feel like he looks, better, but I wouldn't say that we're anywhere close to out of the woods. He could crash at any time on us.
Since our original story aired, the Douglas County Animal Shelter offered to help with his medical expenses. The vet's office says they've also gotten several calls from people who want to help. We also have new information tonight on the recovery of another dog. Poppy is staying in a foster home to help with her recovery. She was rescued from a cage in Champaign's Kaufman Lake over the weekend. Animal control leaders say she has a long way to go, but she's keeping a good attitude. The man who rescued her from the lake says he wants to adopt her as soon as she's done healing. Now for a WCIA 3 follow-up. We told you about the Art Theater in Champaign suddenly closing its doors late last month. Since then, there's been a lot of tension between the Art Film Foundation and the landlord. WCIA 3's Emily Braun is here. Emily, what happened recently and how does that affect this process?
Paul, just yesterday, the Art Film Foundation filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. The art's landlord, David Kraft, filed a notice of default. He told us that means if they don't pay him rent by Tuesday, he gets control of all assets. The foundation's lawyer says because of the bankruptcy filing, he can't do that, and the court could fine him if he tries. Plus, the foundation's trustee is not in a position to pay rent, which is also because of the bankruptcy filing. The landlord, Kraft, says losing the theater meant losing a big chunk of his income. He's trying to find a new owner to take over and make it a business again ASAP. And he says he doesn't understand why this closing process is being drawn out.
Why? I want to save this place. If they care about this place the way they say that they do, then why are they trying to stop me from getting a new tenant in here?
I asked the foundation president why this happened after a fundraising campaign earlier this year successfully raised $25,000 to save the art theater, bringing them to what they said at the time was, quote, the point of developing long-term plans for true sustainability. I was directed to the foundation's lawyer for that question. She told me she's not sure what specifically that money was used for, but that $25,000 is just a small portion of what it really takes to keep the art theater up and running. I also reached out to the art theater's executive director requesting an on-camera interview or additional comment. They declined to comment further, only stating that they filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Paul?
So I have a question here. Does Kraft have an attorney who's working on his behalf in this situation?
He does, and he said as far as communication between the two sides, there hasn't been a lot of that yet, so it's just a lot of attorney communication right now.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of this is going to be sorted out in a courtroom.
Right.
Emily, thanks. Well, Kraft also claims there are missing assets, including several bottles of alcohol. He says he hasn't gotten a straight answer from the art theater about that, and he has contacted the police.
Actor Tom Hanks has played a lot of different roles. How one of them has an important connection to a central Illinois man.
Plus, property taxes can help pay for several things in a community, but not in one city. What almost all of it is going toward.
And Illinois basketball may have won last night, but it wasn't the way they wanted. Why they struggled to make it happen.